So there are a lot of people out there who show up to work every single day for X amount of hours in exchange for a paycheck. But the problem is, we're always going to have this doubt in our head, these questions of what we're doing. Is it worth my time? Am I creating art? Am I challenging the status quo? Am I a cog in the wheel, or am I a linchpin? This is Seth Godin's Linchpin. Are you indispensable? Golden nugget number 1, in that there is less room for instruction followers on the job today than at any other time in history.
Most people are driven from a simple question, which is, will this be on the test? Is this what my boss wants me to do? What's the minimum? And that's what we got trained to do, is to find the cheapest possible people who will do what they're told. The alternative is to race to the top, and we do that in a different way. We do that by doing work that can't be written down. We're doing it for reasons other than there's going to be a test.
Golden nugget number 2 is become a linchpin to make yourself indispensable.
The question is, what's the work for? What would happen if instead of physical labor, I did emotional labor? The thing is, we volunteer to not be linchpins. And the reason is because we don't trust ourselves. It's not that we don't want meaning from work. It's that we don't want to be on the hook because we're worried that we'll let everybody down.
And that kind of brings us into our next golden nugget. But before I do that, why did the chicken cross the road?
The traditional answer is to get to the other side.
Also, because the lizard brain told us to. The lizard brain only wants to eat, and it only wants to be safe. It's the source of resistance.
All wild animals are the same, and they're the same in the sense that their brain is instantly reacting to everything that's happening around it. Well, we have that same brain, but we've added stuff on the outside over time. But at the heart of our brain, right next to our spinal cord, is the amygdala. And that lizard brain takes over when we least need it to. Understanding that we have this part of our brain helps us manage it. It helps us do the other work, the work we know is important. We cannot make that noise in our head disappear, but what we can do is dance with it.
And it really leads us to the next golden nugget, where we talk about this idea of artists. So golden nugget number 4 is that true artists tinker, they ship.
Well, one thing they taught you in school is that an A is better than a B, and that eliminating mistakes is a key part of your job. However, when I think about the heroes that have changed your world, whether they are musical heroes, creative heroes, or leaders, what they all have in common is they're wrong and they're wrong and they're wrong until one day they're right. That's why almost no one's a linchpin. That's why almost no one's an artist. Because there is something the accountant or the lawyer needs to say, wants to say to their boss, to their coworker, and hasn't said it. When it comes to giving a speech or writing a book or having a meeting with a client, there are no specifications. All there are audacious goals.
When I think about this a little bit more, this goes into golden nugget number 5. Take personal responsibility. Challenge the status quo. Change people. Create art.
The challenge isn't that we can't make art. The challenge is that we don't want to be responsible. There's an unlimited amount of responsibility up for offer at your job, but people are afraid. If you don't want to take this next step forward, if you believe that the structure of where you are is such that you don't have the room or the upside to do so, then quit whining. But if you want to feel alive and contribute and feel the magical urgency of now, begin. No more planning, begin as small as you can. Do not expect it to work right away. It might not work ever, but the journey is worth it. This is about how we choose to dance with our fear. It's telling me not to do that risky thing, not to play covers, but to do original work. I will do the opposite. This might not work is the watchword of a linchpin who's trying to do this generous connection.
Golden nugget number 6. It says to succeed today, you must give people genuine gifts.
That there is something in humanity that is an urge for reciprocity. That's not what I'm talking about when I write about gifts. I am talking about the other kind of gift where we are merely contributing with zero expectation of a return, because feeding the culture is a privilege. And I think that if you're a lawyer or an accountant or a doctor, you should not spend all day doing your work for free. But, and it's a big but, if you have a contribution, then sharing it with the culture is part of your obligation and it also has significant upsides.
All right, my friends, that's a wrap for this week. So thank you so much for tuning in again. Don't forget, connect with me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram if you want updates from me throughout the week to see what I'm doing.